Assalamualaikum and a very good day. My name is Fazila from Department of Building Surveying, University of Malaya, and this is my research title, A Study on the Control of Ventilation in COVID-19 Quarantine Premise in Malaysia. Ventilation system is a very important system that should be taken care of to ensure safety and health, to supply good air quality, and to remove the polluted air. During this COVID-19 pandemic, the performance of ventilation system like natural or mechanical needs to be taken care of. Based on WHO, ventilation system play a high role to prevent the spreading of COVID-19 disease. This research is divided into 4 main phases. The first phase is about preliminary, the second phase involves extensive review of the literature, the third phase is fieldwork survey. In this phase, case study and semi-structured interview has been used. The last phase is analysis and discussion. It is to find out the recommendation of the suitability approaches for setting up quarantine premise. The data has been analysed using thematic analysis. There are a few guidelines, standards, and policies that are suitable to apply for the establishment of quarantine center in local and international context. In the local context, we have Annex 32 of COVID-19 Management Guideline. There are a few criteria of requirement for quarantine premise has been stated, such as good ventilation. Meanwhile, in Annex 32B of COVID-19 Management Guideline, it states they should meet the conditions that have been stated by the Ministry of Health, such as has physical capacity to isolate infected and potentially infected patients. In the BBL 1984, Section 39 states the percentage of natural ventilation that is applicable for uninterrupted air opening for medical facilities and non-medical facilities like residential. Meanwhile, for Section 41, it is for mechanical ventilation that can be referred in the third schedule. For MS 1525, we're focusing on the energy efficiency. In clause number 8, it states the requirement for designing the room comfort condition for air conditioning and mechanical ventilation system. In the international context, we have World Health Organization. It is required for medical health for natural and mechanical ventilation, and for aerosol generating procedure area for natural and mechanical ventilation. The air should also directly exhausted to outdoor from patient room. In ISO 14644-1, it will be provided the relevant means to control the air contamination. In ASHRAE Standard 2.1, it is used to determine the minimum ventilation rate and steps that need to be ensured that the indoor air quality and minimize the adverse effect on the health of the occupant. For CIPC KS 17, good indoor air quality defined as there is no occurrence of contaminants that are at dangerous concentration, and also state the rate of air supply that adequate and acceptable for ventilation of fresh air. The suitability of the quarantine center can be achieved by increasing the air change rate, and the requirement should be designed according to the type and size of the virus that want to be eliminated. Reducing the recirculation of air and increasing the use of outdoor air can reduce the transmission. Well-maintained and frequently inspection for ventilation system can also reduce the risk of the spreading. To make sure the quarantine premise is suitable for the patient, they should also follow the requirements stated in the previous slide. They should also maintain the positive pressure to ensure the air inside the spaces will always circulate and can be discharged the virus by the movement of the air. In recommending the suitable approaches for setting up the quarantine facilities, the clean room system should be considered to install because it can prevent any contaminant from entering the space. With the use of highly efficient particulate air filter, it can control the spreading of the virus. According to the United States Environmental Protection Agency and the United States Department of Energy, this air filter has minimum efficiency of 99.97% when tested with an aerosol of 0.3 micrometer diameter. Next is compartmentation room type. This room type is capable to isolate the high and low risk patient. Even though the current quarantine premise also provides room for every category of the patient, but this type of room is very efficient and create low chance of transmitting the virus to others. The conclusion, COVID-19 Management Guideline, Uniform Building Bylaw 1984, MS 1525, WHO, ISO 14644-1, and ASHRAE Standard 62.1 and CIPC KS 17 have been identified as the local and international existing policy and guideline relating to establishment of COVID-19 quarantine premise. For the suitability of quarantine station and the suitable approaches for setting up the quarantine premise for infected and potentially infected patient also have been achieved. That's all from me. Thank you for listening.